What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Cam ATL. Shout out to the DFS squad. Shout out to everybody watching this video right now. Drop a like down below because I already know you're gonna love it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure you comment anything down in the comments section to enter your name into a $50 giveaway that I do every single week on this channel. Ladies and gentlemen, greenlightdfs.com to join the squad. It is week 1 of the NFL season. I've been waiting for this moment and since NFL ended last year. We only lost 3 weekends all season last season. And we're all about improvement. So we're trying to beat that out. We're trying to have an amazing season this season. Just like last year, I am going to post earlier on in the weeks. I'm going to post a first look lineup. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go through together. We're going to build a first look lineup together. I'm going to explain the reasoning behind the players that I like. We're going to talk about a few other things. And then so you guys will get a first look lineup on here. Okay, then later on in the week, we will have an updated video where we'll talk about any changes that have been made to rosters or, you know, any injuries that happen to pop up, stuff like that. We're just going to make sure everything is still around where we want it to be. Remember, the first look lineup is kind of more of a, you know, GPP lineup. I'm not saying put this first look lineup in and just roll with it and don't look the rest of the week, okay? So you're going to want to, you know, stay aware of things. Things can change. Things definitely probably will change at the beginning of the week. But I'm just super excited about this, man. So let's get straight into it and let's build this lineup together. Starting off at quarterback. Now, Patrick Mahomes is going against Jacksonville. Andrew Luck retired. Jameis Winston against San Francisco is a fine matchup, but that price is too much. The guy that sticks out to me is down here in this range right here. We have a few guys that I like around here, okay? We got Carson Wentz, which is my main guy and who's going to be in this lineup right now. We'll talk about why. Okay, Kyler Murray at 5'6" and Kirk Cousins at 5'5". Okay, Kirk Cousins and Wentz are kind of my priority over Kyler Murray. Carson Wentz is at home in Philly. You know, he's dealt with injury. He missed a lot of time last year, okay? He was not playing last year, and you know he's excited to get back out there. He's at home in Philly. This dude is ready to go. He got a new supreme target in Deshaun Jackson, a dude who's super, super fast, stretches the field. It's going to open the field up more for some Alshon Jeffrey. He's got Zach Ertz. He's got Zach Ertz. There you go, yeah. Zach Ertz is healthy. Deshaun Jackson is there. He did break his finger recently, but he is going to be good to go week 1. I wouldn't think that bothers him too much. He should be, his speed is crazy, and I do expect him to get over top of this defense. But with the speed of Deshaun Jackson to get that go yard and to have that long ball threat, as well as Zach Ertz and Alshon Jeffrey on this offense, he's got plenty of targets. Now, on top of that, they don't have much of a run game. Okay, and with Case Keenum now the quarterback of Washington, I think that Washington's able to move the ball well, and they're going to have a decent offense here. Case Keenum is not a bad quarterback. Okay, so I think this game ends up staying fairly close. Vegas has Philly as 8-point favorites, but Philly is like the second highest implied total on the entire slate. All right, and I understand why. This Washington offense is not very good. Okay, they give up a ton of passing yards. They're just not very good. And Carson Wentz at home after missing all of that time has a whole bunch of weapons as well as Deshaun Jackson on this team. It's a great situation. And it's an offense that just doesn't have the weapons to run the ball much. So I expect Wentz to throw the ball a ton. And at 5'7", I love Carson Wentz. Next up, now, Ezekiel Elliott will not be playing in this unless something surprising happens. We'll talk about it later. But Tony Pollard is going to be the guy in Dallas. He will be the running back to take over for Ezekiel Elliott with his holdout situation. It's expected that Zeke is going to miss some weeks. We don't know exactly how many, but it's expected that he will. Okay, obviously we'll refresh this and update this and talk about this later on if he ends up happening to be available for week 1. But Pollard at 4.5 is the best value on this entire slate. He's on a team with an amazing offensive line. Running backs always destroy for this offense. And it's just the holes are gaping, okay? So anybody can be a very good choice on this at running back for Dallas. So Tony Pollard at 4.5, I absolutely love him. I don't think there's much of a surprise there. He should definitely be in lineups at 4.5. Next up, now, the scoring on Draftkings is PPR. Okay, that means you want some pass catchers. You want guys who get a whole ton of volume at wide receiver, guys who catch a bunch of passes and all that good stuff. Now, looking at the running backs on this slate, we don't have Alvin Kamara on this slate, on this main slate, but we do have Christian McCaffrey, an elite pass-catching running back. This dude has an amazing floor just off the amount of passes he catches. He is the main target on this offense. They don't have many good wide receivers. McCaffrey is going to line up at receiver a bunch, line up out in the slot. They're going to find ways to get the ball in this dude's hands. He is a bona fide star, okay? He is a legitimate pass catcher. And Christian McCaffrey at 8.8. I know that's a high price, but you're going to see with some of the value that's on this slate that it shouldn't be an issue at all. Now, another running back that I absolutely love that I want to bring up is Le'Veon Bell. Let's go to him real quick. All right, Le'Veon, obviously, all of this extra stuff. He's got this new rap career, and he sucks at rapping, so he's got to really step his NFL game up, obviously. He doesn't have to do much stepping up, because when this dude is healthy and this dude is actually on the field, he is an absolute playmaker. The only thing that bothers me with Le'Veon Bell on this Jets offense is the Jets offense in general is not good. They don't have anybody. Who's to stop Buffalo from just stacking the box and saying, you know what, let's take Le'Veon out of this game and make them throw it to beat us? Now, here's the issue with that is I'm a believer in Sam Darnold. Okay, I do think Darnold can do damage in the air and open up some stuff for Le'Veon Bell. As well as this team has no choice but to find ways to get the ball in this dude's hand. He's going to be targeted heavily in the pass game. He's going to get a ton of carries. He's going to do what he's got to do. He's going to touch the ball a ton. This Buffalo offense is not good. Okay, this game should be one of those grinded out games. A whole bunch of running, a whole bunch of little slow movement. You know, no big, nothing big happening unless like a run's broken or something. It looks like a grinded kind of game here. Both offenses aren't very good. Le'Veon Bell is an absolute superstar. And at 7-1, do not sleep at him at that price. Because, I mean, that's $1,700 less than Christian McCaffrey. The only reason I didn't put Le'Veon Bell in this high five is because Christian McCaffrey, we have the money to go with Christian McCaffrey. And we know 100% what Christian McCaffrey can do in this offense. And they have a little bit more weapons than the Jets have. Okay? And they're in a game where they're going to have to throw to keep up with the Los Angeles Rams. Okay? So Christian McCaffrey at 8.8. Now, next up, at wide receiver. On the other side of that game, Cooper Kupp. Now, Carolina they struggled all year last year against the pass. They struggle against the pass. Now, one thing we know before Cooper Kupp got injured last year, he was a main target here for Jared Goff. All right? He is a main target for Jared Goff. Now, what they're saying is that Gurley is going to get a bit of a limited workload this season. Like, they're not going to run him nearly as hard as they did the previous seasons, as we saw with him barely touching the field in the Super Bowl. All right? They're not going to be playing him much. He's still dealing with like lingering issues, and they're just not planning on playing him as much. He's not going to be that super bell cow guy that we're used to with Todd Gurley getting 25, 30 touches a game. All right? Cooper Kupp is a guy who makes it happen out of that slot on that offense, man. I absolutely love Cooper Kupp. He always gets a very solid amount of targets. Love Cooper Kupp in this matchup. This is one of the games I really like with the Rams and Carolina because I think this game is going to stay close. I think they're going to be throwing back and forth, scoring, and I think it's going to be a really good game. So I definitely want offense from this game. And Cooper Kupp at 5.7 against a team who struggles versus receivers. I mean, they're bottom in the league against touchdowns allowed to receiver. They're bottom in the league at allowing over 175 reception yards a game to receivers. Like, they're just really, really struggling, okay, against receiving. So Cooper Kupp is in an elite spot here, and I absolutely love him. And he's only 5.7. Next up, the addition of Odell Beckham did wonders for my main man, Jarvis Landry. Now, I don't have to explain much. You guys know Jarvis Landry is a PPR monster. This dude garnishes a whole bunch of targets regardless. Now, Odell Beckham Jr., a lot of people might think, oh man, Odell's there now. You know, who cares about Jarvis Landry? Odell Beckham's there. Here's the thing, though. Defenses obviously are going to be focused in more on Odell Beckham than Jarvis Landry. With defenses scheming to stop Odell Beckham, seeing that Odell Beckham is the biggest force on this offense, with defenses scheming to shut Odell down, that's going to open up a ton of these little inside routes for Jarvis Landry. He's going to catch a ton of passes this year, and I really like the potential for Jarvis Landry this season, having a big superstar guy like Odell Beckham on this team. Also, these guys are like best friends, okay? Them being on the field together, they're going to both try to show out every single game together, and I just love the price of Jarvis Landry at 5'6". Having a superstar across the field from him to garnish all of that attention should open up a lot for Jarvis Landry. I absolutely love him. Next up, I mentioned liking Carson Wentz, and I mentioned Deshaun Jackson being an absolute monster on those deep routes. Now, really, with Deshaun Jackson at this price at 4.5, all we need is one deep catch for a touchdown, and that's a wrap. We don't need nothing else. He can leave the game after that if he wants. I'm fine with that. Deshaun Jackson and Carson Wentz, I'm hearing a lot of news about how Wentz and Jackson have been, a force so far this offseason. These dudes have been linking up a ton, and they are just in love with each other so far this offseason. Deshaun Jackson did break his finger, but he's going to be good to go. They came out and said he's completely fine. He's good to go. This dude's an absolute burner, man. All offseason, all during practices and stuff, they've been doing nothing but talking about how Deshaun Jackson's been burning every single Eagles cornerback in every single practice. He's been absolutely burning them. We know about Deshaun Jackson, okay? He is a super quick receiver that can go over the top of your defense and burn you with ease, okay? This dude is a beast, and the fact that this news is coming out about Wentz and him having such an amazing connection, like Wentz has been dropping absolute dimes right in that breadbasket of Jackson this entire time, and they've been burning people over and over and over. So the combo of Wentz and Jackson together should be deadly this entire season. And I really, really love the fact that Alshon Jeffrey is going to garner the best cornerback on that team. There's no way any of these guys are going to be able to keep up with Deshaun Jackson. I easily see him getting over the top of that defense and Wentz putting it right where he needs to. And like I said, one big touchdown play for this dude, and it's a wrap. We don't even need any more at the price of 4.5. All right? At tight end, Zach Ertz. Now, I love this Philly offense in general. I love that Carson Wentz is back. I love the matchup against Washington. I just love them back at home. They're going to be lights out. Ertz is one of these tight ends in the league that just gets tons of targets, okay? There's not a whole lot of tight ends in this league that get targeted like crazy. Outside of guys like, George Kittle, Travis Kelce, O.J. Howard should have a good season. I like Hunter Henry. Greg Olsen is also an amazing option at tight end at 3.2 if you want to save there and spend up more elsewhere. But with Tony Pollard opening up so much for your roster at running back, I just don't see a reason to have to save really at tight end. There's really no need. But Zach Ertz at 6'1", I absolutely love him, man. Like I said, him and Wentz have such an amazing connection. These dudes link up often. Okay, so I'm expecting Deshaun to do a lot of damage down the field. I'm expecting Ertz to do a lot of damage on shorter routes, probably catch a touchdown, maybe two. I'm loving the potential for Zach Ertz. And once again, him and Deshaun Jackson happen to be on an offense that just doesn't run the ball. They don't have any bona fide running backs, legitimate workhorses to run the ball with. So I absolutely love Zach Ertz at 6'1". At the flex position, I hate to say this because I love my Atlanta Falcons to death, but nothing has changed. They're still going to be bottom in the league against pass-catching running backs, which is always good in PPR on Draftkings. Okay, Dalvin Cook is a good pass-catching back as well as he's going to be the workhorse. He's going to get a ton of run in this offense, and he just is in a prime spot here against Atlanta, man. An absolute prime spot against Atlanta. The spread in this game is close. Both of these offenses are going to be just hurling the ball. Expect Dalvin Cook to be involved in this pass game early and often. I absolutely love him, man. I absolutely love Dalvin Cook. Even if he doesn't catch 8 million of passes and they don't target him a bunch in the pass game, it's because they're up against the Falcons and they're running a shit ton with him and he's just getting through these holes with ease. Okay? I really, really love Dalvin Cook at 6,000. That matchup is just really, really, really good. All right. Last but not least, defense. I'm leaning the Seattle Seahawks at home in Seattle. Seattle has always been a really, really tough place for offenses to play at because not only has the defense is not that good. Don't get me wrong. They're not that good. They used to be amazing. They used to be lockdown. They're not that good. Okay. But here's the thing. All right, Seattle is a very, very loud arena. They're at home in Seattle on the season opener and going against a Cincinnati team that's without A.J. Green. I don't see an issue with them locking down Tyler Boyd and making it really, really tough on Andy Dalton and Joe Mixon. I don't see any scenarios where Cincinnati's offense just happens to dominate the Seattle defense. I also expect Seattle's offense to do damage here against Cincinnati. Okay? So I'm expecting Seattle to get up big, Cincinnati to have to throw, and I'm really liking Seattle's defense to get some turnovers at 3-1. Some other defenses that you can think about here are the Jets D at home in New York against Buffalo. Buffalo's offense is horrible. So the Jets are another great option there. Any others? The Chargers against the Colts. I love that with no Andrew Luck now. I mean, the Colts are going to struggle with Brissett back there. So I also love the Chargers. So you can go with really any of those. The Chargers, the Jets, the Seahawks. You know what? I'm going to lock in Chargers because that Chargers defense overall is just better than the Seahawks defense straight up. And I like going against Jacoby Brissett. I like picking on that because he's going to do some turnovers. And that offense just isn't going to be very good without Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck made a huge difference to that offense. When Andrew Luck was not on the field, that offense couldn't do anything. And they're definitely an offense you want to take advantage of. So really, the Chargers, the Seahawks, the Jets, you can't go wrong with any of those offenses. And all of them are right there around the same cost. And that's it, guys. First look. Carson Wentz, Tony Pollard, Christian McCaffrey, Cooper Kupp, Jarvis Landry, Deshaun Jackson, Zach Ertz, Dalvin Cook, and the Chargers defense is the first look, man. Super excited about NFL. Like I said, we're probably going to have podcasts going on this channel through like midweek for NFL, especially when MLB is over and we're able to just completely zone in on NFL. Me and my uncle together will do our podcast again. And then I will have, towards the end of the week, I will do like a final look and we'll go over the slate, talk about any movement that's happened, anything that needs to be updated. We'll go through that as well. Hit me up on Twitter at Cam_ATL. Make sure you follow me on there. You can ask me whatever questions you have on there. And I will also be doing live shows for NFL. I'll probably go live like Saturday sometime or something, or maybe, Saturday. I'm thinking like the day before the slate. I'll go live, talk some NFL, maybe even Sunday morning. So if I'm not extremely busy putting everything together. So probably Saturday most likely. All right? Drop a like down below, man. Let's get 300 likes on this video, man. Super excited for NFL. Comment anything in the comment section to enter your name into that giveaway, man. And let's get it.